Jeremy, are you a Teams person?
Yeah.
Do you know if, I'm not a Teams person and Michael can't come today, so I just want to make sure that I've got my mic.
So your mic is.
That's connected to Owl.
So go to more.
Yeah.
And go to settings.
Yep.
One more time, and then go to device settings.
Yep.
And then here, this is where you can choose your speaker.
Okay.
You can choose.
Meeting.
Same thing. Thank you very much.
We have like 4 notifications. Yeah, I was like, there's like a few.
Are you sharing, right?
Because one of the and we're getting like a.
We're getting there.
So I think your camera is on there.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, right. We don't have anything in person today.
Oh, yeah. Okay, great.
That's you.
Hello,
I know.
how we doing?
Hey, in the flesh,
What's that?
in the flesh.
Yeah, for at least an hour. You got me burning.
Carol, you're good. I'm sitting camera there again. So because you're the only one sharing right now, it's mirroring your view of the owl view. So when you share a document, you'll see the same owl view here. You can see the document.
So, oh my God, the stuff is perfect.
What I'm trying to do is share.
It's not my priority.
Yes.
But I get it.
So go back and try that. Yes.
Oh, nice to meet you. I know it's like seeing you.
Were you able to figure out what we were talking about?
Yeah, no, we were all.
I think you moved your.
Don't come to mind.
Mhm.
They made it fall under. Now it's like attack all on parts.
Very
Yeah.
fast.
So the way to think about it, I guess. If you put that two, well, when you have it on that one parcel. they divide it.
Yeah.
So others are parcels. What can happen is you can actually sell.
Oh, you use Teams online, you're on a browser. Yeah. That makes sense. You should download the app. Because this is the challenge, right? When you share, and you're doing it through the browser, you can only share things that are in your browser. Whereas if you have the, run anything on your whole desktop.
Right now, we have to, because they're doing that attached.
And what they are chemicals.
What I suggest you do is just pop out.
Pop out.
Yeah. Yeah, okay, so let's go to, when you hit share here, go to the top right.
Yeah, this is what I usually do.
You see your screen, pick your window, right? And then you can do You can move the window.
Okay, but they can still see us, right?
I am in charge.
I hear you. Okay.
No, you're gonna be running out of background, you just close it.
Just close it.
Um,
Just a second, John.
okay, so you have the extended screen, right? So that's usually do window, right? Or do you
Yeah,
do-
I usually do window.
But your only window, you want to do this one, you're saying you want to do this one. You have to drag that on.
Right, so
So what you do is you pull it
here,
over.
here it is.
No, it's the screen. So you have it on the other screen, you have to pull it over here. So that, yes, drag that.
Oh, here it is.
There you go, share.
Okay. Why isn't it sharing? Oh my God, this is.
That's right.
Stop sharing. Let me just stop sharing. I want to make sure that I'm.
Camera needs to be on. That's right, and the mic is on.
um,
It's the owl. What's that and share?
Why is this not working? I don't know why it's not working.
Let's ask people online. Can everyone online see the Historic Preservation Commission document?
Yes, yes, we can.
Yes,
You-
yes,
Okay,
You can see the agenda?
yes.
Yeah, clear as a
No,
bell.
we can see the draft minutes.
that's good.
Oh, okay. Let me stop. Let me not share those draft minutes. And now you see do you see the agenda now?
No,
Okay. Hold 1 second, please.
Share.
Why is that not working? I don't know why this isn't working.
We can get started with the signs, right?
Yeah,
No, you, because you want
I-
to.
yeah. Are people online? Can they see the agenda? Can you guys see the agenda now?
No,
no.
No.
Go back to the
Okay.
teams.
I'm sorry, we're just working out some technical stuff.
Go to entire screen.
Yep. Here or here?
Go back to window.
Yeah. Is it not doing this?
Try entire screen.
Here. Screen.
You should just hit entire screen and
Yeah,
then. the
move it
agenda
over.
up. You just don't have it on, so it's not showing up.
The agenda?
Yeah, so hit screen one. And then, so did you run screen one through though? So hit start,
Yeah, share at the bottom.
share at the bottom.
Yeah.
And now go back to screen one and pull up the agenda. You actually don't.
Oh, okay. So I go back to the agenda.
we see your desktop now.
Yeah. And then what? I'm sorry.
That's it. Now everyone should see it.
Everyone sees it, but I don't see everyone. That's the complication I'm having. I'm sharing this with the folks on the teams, but we're not seeing them. I don't know if that matters. Does that matter?
Yeah, doesn't matter. I think it's fine.
Okay.
Everyone online can see the document that says regular meeting review of the minutes. Is that correct?
We're seeing the desktop.
Yeah, I don't think they're seeing the document.
Okay.
I think they're seeing this.
Can you move back?
Yeah, can you move it over to the other?
To my screen? Sure.
Now we see it.
We
Okay,
see
great.
it.
Thank you.
But
Thank
now
you.
everyone else can't see.
Yeah.
Can you?
Can you just do mirror one-to-one
Yeah,
your
mirror.
desktop? And I know that's hard for you because you'll have to do a lot of navigating.
It's okay. How about that?
No, I think that they see either this. We see this, but they're seeing this, we see this.
Are you guys seeing the agenda now?
Yes,
Uh,
yes.
Okay, great. I think we're good.
Okay.
Reminder for the public, we're not moving back to City Hall. And that all March meetings will be held. April meetings are currently planned.
Okay, Joe.
Would we like to now convene the meeting?
Yes.
Can you tell us what's first, Jan?
The review of the minutes of February 23rd or 4th, 24th.
Does the commission have the opportunity to review the minutes? Can I have a motion to approve? Second. You, Jeremy, all in favor? Great.
Okay, next up is Victoria. We have 2 certificate of appropriateness votes, 752 Warren.
That one's pressing further on?
Yes.
So I think I was getting confused. You had one prepared?
I think they had one prepared. Is 752 Warren Street online with us today? No, remember they were going to go to, we voted to approve contingent on them getting the approval. Yes. Mhm.
Then, so do you have it available? Do you want me to send it to you?
Yeah, could you resend it?
Sure. So do you want to skip that one to the end?
Yes. Yes. So next up is 620 Union Street, and that's the McKinstry Mansion.
So do we have, there is no contingencies?
This was, I don't know if you saw it, it was a pre-approval of an expired CRA. They stated that there were no changes from the one previously approved. So I redrafted it to mirror the language in the prior one, saying that it was reapproval of the expired one.
Great. Do I have a motion to approve that? You, Jeremy, all in favor? Aye. Great.
Okay, and now we have some new applications. First up is 322 Warren Street. It is the meat hook sign.
I'm happy.
That's me.
Hi.
See the time. You can't see it there when you see it.
Yeah.
You can show it. Great.
Number 2.
Number 2, what's number 1?
It's just too big.
I have their application. Yes.
Is it painted sign onto the building?
Yeah, it's currently painted black. I'm just gonna paint it off white and then the sign will be black and white.
Just to refresh everyone, this sign was the red folks. Signs, the sign is actually staying. He's just gonna make it fit. Same color and letter.
Is there any discussion on the commission?
So is the application clear that it's the second sign that we're voting on?
I don't have what name.
I'm looking at the application. I'm sharing it.
I didn't submit that it was.
Who's gonna bring that today?
Oh.
Okay, so
Why don't we just say, it's attached that document and it's the one on the bottom, right? When are you gonna open?
April 11th.
You're gonna butcher there, you're gonna butchery there? Yeah. That's great. So will it all be frozen?
No, fresh.
Great, none of this relates to your sign, and just. It's a topic of much conversation. It's
Wonderful.
What are your hours?
We can have a 2-minute conversation. I'll give it 90 seconds. Honestly, I'm dying to know because I'm kind of the only precedent I have is like hours, but I want to be available. We do 10 to 8 p.m. in the city, 7 days a week. But
No one's gonna buy anything at 10 a.m.
okay, great.
See you later.
What do you think? 11 to 7?
I'm like,
Why don't you just take, why don't you just? I never mind staying.
why good?
I was.
You have to-
All right, never mind, anyway.
Okay, anyway.
You'll figure that
Bye,
out.
everyone.
Is it 7 days or 6 days?
If you have to marinate, you guys.
Five is fine.
Uh-huh. Which 5? Wednesday?
We're gonna be close Tuesday.
The audio from the meeting is very bad.
Okay.
Okay. We wish you every success. Welcome to Hudson.
Yes,
Thank you so
good luck. Excited.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, do we have any, so do we have a, okay. Do we have a motion to waive the public hearing, determine the application is complete? You, yes, Paul,
Thank you.
on favor, aye. Do we have a motion to waive a public hearing? Instruct the city attorney to prepare a certificate of appropriateness. Paul and Hugh. On favor, aye. Okay, great. Butchery on the way. That's great.
Is that better, folks online?
Press out there, Jim Land?
Carol, can you hear us?
Barely. The audio is very bad.
What's it using for the owl?
The owl.
Yeah.
Shouldn't be any
Go
different.
back to the,
We're working on it.
you come up here.
So, what is our meeting? This cannot prevent us conducting our business. Can you proceed?
We should see if we can fix the audio because it's been advertised. We'll take a moment. No.
Is this better, you guys, online?
Jan, you're the only person we can hear clearly, at least as far as I'm concerned, that yours is the voice that can be heard clearly. Everybody else is kind of muffled.
This is Ronald Kopnicki. I'm having the same experience as Carol.
And there's a lot of cross.
And it would help if you try not to all talk at the same time.
Okay, is that better, guys, online?
Let me write that down. Could you, are you sure it's not the
Somebody
microphone?
else needs to speak because you're the voice that can be heard. So ask someone else to ask us.
Yes, can you hear us now? It's Victoria speaking.
Yes, I can hear you, Victoria.
That's better, yeah.
Okay, so it was the microphone on that.
Okay, great.
So,
Don't worry, I took care of it, Carol.
we'll try again. Next up is 327 Warren Street. That's the BNR sign. Is there someone?
Hi,
on?
yes, I'm here for that.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi.
Do we see an image of the sign?
God. 327.
Are you not able to pull up the sign?
The problem. might be
No,
where it
I'm
looks-
not. Yeah, I'm on my personal phone, so no, I'm not available at the moment to pull that up.
Okay, I'll see if we have an image that was sent. Yes, we do.
Okay.
And of course, I can't share it.
If you just turn around, it's just a sign.
Yeah.
You can drag
It's
it
gonna
onto
be more
the screen.
complicated when we
You
have.
can drag it onto the screen for now.
Why aren't we able to share?
I don't know why this is doing this.
Oh, there it is. I see it.
Okay, you see it now, but no one else does, but I'll turn this.
Okay. So this is actually an existing sign that you guys had approved a few years ago. It was installed at 442 Warren Street. But now they're going to take the same exact sign and just move it to 327 Warren.
Does the commission have any commentary on that? Do I have a,
Wait, can you just give me the word? So it's a aluminum hanging
Right.
sign on a bracket? What is the description?
It's an MDO wood sign on a bracket.
Wood hanging sign on a bracket. Existing bracket?
Yeah, they're going to move everything from 442 to 327.
So not existing?
Non-existent.
Okay, I'm in the bracket, thank you.
Do I have a motion to find the application complete? Hugh and Jeremy, do I have a motion to, all in favor? Aye. Do I have a motion to waive the public hearing and instruct the city attorney to prepare a certificate of appropriateness? Jeremy and Paul, all in favor? Aye. Thank you. Your certificate of appropriateness will be ready in 2 weeks.
Okay, perfect. And then I also have the 520 or 548 Warren Street as well. Yep, the Jamestown store sign.
So this is the Jamestown, 548 Warren Street, Jamestown store sign. I think the folks at home can see it, but you guys will have to look at my computer.
So this
Wow.
sign is it's a double-sided 30 by 20. It's an aluminum pan sign similar to the sign of Jeffrey Good and Farrell Barton Blake. It just will have a top hanging bar bracket instead of coming out from the side.
Why is it between what store is it attached to?
It is attached to 548. I believe the owner or tenant is going to be taking over both spaces there.
Oh, all right.
It was still on there. Wasn't it?
It's 548,
548.
yeah, I think that's Farron.
Yes.
All right, but if it makes sense if it's, the placement makes sense if it's both
Both
stores.
sorts, yeah.
Yeah.
It wraps around.
Yes, yep, that's
All right. So, do I have a motion to find the application complete? Paul, Jeremy, all in favor? Aye. Do I have a motion to waive a public hearing and instruct the city attorney to prepare a certificate of appropriateness? Kim and Paul, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Next up is 2 and 4 Park Place, the Hudson Roastery, new signage, alterations and awnings. And I think we have people here in person to speak to that.
Yeah, hey, good morning, Commissioners, CEO. I have a letter to the chairman, and I have some also supporting material. But I think the best way to approach this would be to hand out a rendering and full schematic dimensions of what we are attempting to do on the corner.
Folks at home, can you see this, the signage?
Yes, we can. We can.
So the storefront, the building's undergone several modifications over the years, but it's been treated as a single entity along Park Place, turning the corner in Warren Street. We are combining both stores into one and connecting them through a pre-existing opening that was there. I'm not sure how long ago. At the same time, we are wrapping around the signage on the front of the store. And what we are hoping to, in other words, but I have a package here for the committee that includes the application, the condition, current condition of the store itself in relation to the building and the corner. And then also, we have prepared, or we pulled up some historical relevancy to block and lot, and also some photos from the park itself, the way this was existed some time ago. And we did some homework to go back and try and find some of the elements that were important, historically speaking. And then also in the package, we have some flat drawings of what we intend to do. This is the existing store to the left, and the store we're growing into to the right, along with the wraparound sign that goes along Warren Street. And you'll see that also in detail on your handout. And then subsequent to that, while we're wrapping around the sign, we have some other historical elements to the building that we're going to hopefully renovate. And those are a window that's been abandoned and a doorway we discovered on the inside when we were doing some of the interior work. And so on your handout, on the upper right-hand side, to the left, are some detail of the restoration of the existing wood window and the restoration of the existing wood door and transom above. And those details have been drawn as well, and we are prepared to do that work. And also, we had sent along an amendment to the certificate of appropriateness application that includes the scope of that work. So I think that that's the presentation that I have for everyone this morning. I appreciate your time. And as we step into our 4th year on the corner of the park, we're thrilled to be able to do this project and make some, continue along with the advancement of the restoration of the park itself. And, we're seeing the community around the park really embrace what's happening on the park. So we're thrilled to be a part of it. I have some detailed architectural drawings if anybody would like to take a look at those separate from this application, because we're crowdsourcing a lot of opinions and we're hearing what a lot of folks would like to see on the park. We want to hear from you about that as well. So if there's any questions, Carol and I are here to answer. Yes.
So is it principally 3 things you're asking for? You're asking for approval of the signage, approval of this new window, and approval of the door? And the awning?
Yes.
So 4.
I guess we could break it into 4 separate elements of the application. The sign, of course, the extension of the existing sign, and then the restoration of the window and the door on Warren Street. So I see this as 2. Oh, and the awning, of course, right? We're going to take the awning all the way across on the front, and then put an awning on Warren Street as well.
Yeah, it just helps us to break up what we're improving.
Understood. Yes, I appreciate that.
Why don't we take the sign first? So the sign that says Coffee Bar and Cafe exists today.
Correct.
And this is a wood, if I recall, it's a wood sign that goes all the way. Then you're now going to, is this wood sign already here that wraps around the corner?
No, it's not.
What's there now?
It's a metal sign from the previous
So
tenant.
just extend that around that corner and then make it the same as the other one, okay? And there's an existing awning, correct?
Yes.
And you're gonna put 2 additional awnings.
We're gonna take the awning that's existing and remove that awning and put it on the Warren Street sign and build a new awning that extends all the way across.
Oh, I've got that one.
Oh, you have it.
I do, okay, great.
So we're gonna repurpose the existing awning to Warren Street side,
Understood.
and then we're gonna build a new awning that extends all the way across the storefront.
But not onto Warren Street, just onto.
There's
There's going to be an awning on the.
There'll be an awning all over.
Correct.
Awning all around.
One jutting this way.
So, and the new one is gonna match your existing.
Exactly. To the color, to the dimension, to the height, to the extension. The sign folks have spoken to the CEO about the limitations and restrictions and the appropriateness of height and the extension over the top and how far out on the sidewalk we're able to extend that sign as well. So we're lockstep with what's occurring with code enforcement and the sign installation crew as well.
And you want seating to be on that Warren Street side?
No.
Okay, so
Can I just ask, why do you want an awning on that side?
Well, I think that aesthetically, I think it balances the building and the nakedness of that wraparound corner over there. We want to warm the corner. We want to make it welcoming and something that I think that works in balance. I mean,
The flower patterns on it too, so.
yeah, and also, this detail is something that Carol and I have been going back and forth with graphics and designers. We have images and we've gone through a lot of iterations of this, and we found that this approach is, I think, the most welcoming part. I mean, it is a corner. So the idea is to really create the presence of a corner, to step forward and, make this thing, appropriate.
Great. Does anyone have any concerns about the sign or the awning?
No.
I would just make one more comment on the sign if you, for what it's worth. I don't think it really affects your application. To me, as just a layperson, like reading coffee bar first and then Hudson Roastery, like, have you contemplated just eliminating that and painting the center?
100%.
Go ahead.
We tried it all different ways.
Uh-huh.
What made more sense for us was that the block of the Hudson Roastery and Hudson Roastery, even though it seems, like it's the same over, it just didn't look as good.
Yeah.
But also, if I can build on what Carolyn was saying, the cafe is our signature. It is what we've been there for 3 years. We are keeping the cafe exactly where it is, the coffee bar and cafe. The corner is going to support our coffee roasting business.
I see.
So it's going to be Hudson Roastery. We're installing a roaster in the corner and becoming vertical with our business. So it identifies the coffee bar, and we're going to have 2 different doors there. We have the corner door, so all the folks are going to be coming from left and right, but also the door that's going to be there is going to remain there. So that's the coffee bar and cafe. The bar is in there and the cafe is in there. This is going to be primarily a roasting room.
Are there any other questions on the signage? Are there any questions? There's no questions on the awning. Are there any questions on the door? Do we have the specifications of the door that's going to be installed?
Yeah, it's like, is that whole glass front, is that being replaced or is it existing that you're just adding film to? It's-
The door's here.
Oh, I'm sorry, still at the corner. Okay, I didn't realize there was another.
It looks like there's an existing door in the pictures. I don't know if Jan.
There's an existing door there. It's going to be restored. And nothing's going to, the dimensions and the size are going to remain the same.
Are you restoring the transom above it as
Oh, that's
well?
different.
Yes.
So you're putting, by restore, what do you mean? You mean stripping it and putting glass in?
On the outside, on the
Can you
outside,
guys see this? This is a painted door. It looks like it has cardboard or something in it, and then there's the transom above.
Side on Line Street.
So, right, so it's just a question of, I think he's adding glass, but I'm not sure.
team, if you look at the inside,
Yeah.
the inside image of the door itself, it identifies a transom, but on the outside, it's completely devoid of a transom. I'm not sure how this was put together, but we will create the transom. That our North Star on this door project is the inside. So once we have identified the transom on the inside and the dimension of the height of the door itself, that's going to be emulated on the reverse.
Did you reveal the original transom and the original door on the inside?
On the inside, yes.
Okay, so the original door and transom is intact.
It's in very poor
So
shape.
it's there.
It's
So
there,
you're going to replicate that
correct,
exactly as it is,
to the,
out of the same materials. And
I
then
thought that was-
that's what you mean by restore.
yes.
Okay. So as long as it's like for like, it actually, well, the rest, yes.
Well,
So we will
we're
approve the
adding glass.
appropriateness of the change on the exterior. And then, but we don't have to worry about the materials, correct?
Indicate that to CFA.
Okay, great. It'll be the
Because
same.
now I need the
Like
materials documents, you gotta take that picture and that single door and indicate all that material and submit that to me. Because when I go out to do the inspection, I'll have that. And if that material doesn't match, then it fails.
Yeah, we can amend and attach this
That
to,
would be great.
as an exhibit that Craig, you can look at and go,
But offhand, it'll be wood.
pardon me?
It'll be wood.
Yes,
And same for the window, right?
yes.
So so inside you have the existing window?
The inside window, as it sits, these panes, we have not removed the air conditioner above the window, but it is a double hung window. At one point, it will be completely restored the way that it was.
Okay, so you're gonna pull that off, you're gonna buy a new window, a wood window, right?
Yes,
Okay, and then you're gonna replace that with the new window which looks identical on the bottom and the top, and you've drawn it that for us, which is great.
correct.
But you're gonna give that specification of what you're gonna buy to Craig, so that we have it in our record, so that when he goes out, he can look at that window. and
Yes.
then we can put it- And that'll be a contingency of your CFA when we vote on it in 2 weeks.
It's gonna be,
Marvin, all wood, true double.
Oh, you already have it?
Yeah.
Specified?
we have all the detail that's there. And it's good.
I think Chip put everything in those documents.
So we're a little behind, usually we have this stuff in front of us, so
Yeah.
that's great.
So on this door, are you putting glass in or are you putting wood? It's gonna be glass.
Sure.
Is it clear? Is
Sure.
it clear glass? It looks like it originally was glass, so we're trying to emulate what it was, and like we said, when we're working with Chip, he has the plans and all this, and he's unfortunately not here today. But is it clear glass or frosted?
It's frosted glass. It's exactly the same glass that's in the existing window panes on the window.
So Tony, this is what you're showing, right?
Yes, correct.
I'm able to see it too.
They've seen it already, so we're gonna do it.
Flip it back.
Turns.
Great. All right, are there any additional questions about the window and the door?
Greg, we're good on signage, all of this stuff in terms of scale.
Yes, just to kind of give you an insight on the sign, the reason they're keeping this separated, I'm assuming, because if they didn't, the sign wouldn't be approvable by code. Because you're only allowed one sign, one business, except if you're on a corner, you can put it on each corner.
Right.
But now they're keeping the business separated. If it wasn't separated, this would not be allowed. That's why that sign, if it was, you'd have to make that one continuous sign.
Right, I got it. All right, awnings, signs, window, door. All good. All good. All right, do I have a?
I
yes.
just have one thing I want to make as a statement, that we're not touching any of the brick or anything else on this, because it just says it's a painted brick building, but we're not doing anything there.
Absolutely not.
And because it's not fully painted, because this is unpainted, so thank you for noting that.
The painted part of the building may be addressed at some point. We haven't quite finished exactly how that we want to maybe finish that. If everyone in the room knows what happens on that corner, and it seems as if between the corner and going up to the next building, it's just like no man's land over there. And, you know, it's just a blank wall. At one point, there was some really nice art there. But the current landlord, he decided to paint the building and that art disappeared. And so I think that's a great opportunity for us to do something that might be nice, but we don't know what that is yet. We are, again, crowdsourcing, and if anybody has some ideas, we're all ears.
That's great. We also, but we want to make it clear that the unpainted aspect, there's some unpainted brick here. Don't paint that.
We're not touching that. You can put that in the record.
There is a pillar that is painted white, that's, you see
You're
the
gonna paint
brown.
brown.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's the only thing that was.
yeah, the
painted.
bricks are
All the
gonna
other
stay there. In
bricks.
fact, we wish that they were more.
There you go. All right, do I have any other questions from the commission? No. Do I have a motion to find the application complete? Kim and Paul, all in favor? Aye. Do I have a motion to waive a public hearing and instruct the city attorney to prepare a certificate of appropriateness as with the conditions we've described? Okay, Jeremy, Hugh, all in favor?
Aye.
Great, thank you, good luck.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Commissioner. Thank you.
That corner's gonna brighten right up.
Thank you very much. This is the packs that I prepared. Does anybody care for this or? is this-
We do take them.
Okay, you can do that in the record. So,
Great.
all right. Thank you very much.
And you certificate being too, congratulations. You give it.
Thank
What's next?
Next up is 9 Union Street.
Good morning, Commissioners. I represent the homeowner, Alistair McCowan. My name's Gary Nernberger. I'm an architect. His work that's proposed for 9 Union Street is all on the rear facade.
Can you tell me, I have your binder here, your folder, so can you just tell me which document you're sharing, and I'll try to get it up on the screen here.
So this is the photo binder number 2.
Thank you.
Should have to share a single screen and first and two, but yeah.
But this is the front of the building, but all of the work is
Organize all the things in one and then share some of the others so you can see.
proposed for the rear facade, where the windows are in not very good condition.
We can move this stuff down. They're the important ones.
I have it on my computer, so if you want to get it.
Yeah.
I've looked at it probably a dozen times.
There is also a drawing package, which is drawing binder number 1. So this is the Union Street front. And there's an extension on the building, so it's kind of an L-shaped condition. So this is the extension. There's windows here, here, and there. And they're not in very good condition, but the homeowner has been involved in a lot of restoration projects, and its first inclination is try to restore rather than replace. But there are 3 windows whose sills are being raised up because of internal changes to the kitchen. So those would be replaced. There's one door that's being converted to a window, and the sill is being raised as well. And then there are 9 other windows that remain, and we'd like to try to restore them wherever possible. And if they're too far gone, we would replace them with similar types of windows.
So it looks like you're doing.
Are the sills being reused?
Well, some of the sills are wood and are not in good condition. Some of the sills are stone, and probably can stay.
You know, lentils, I realize there are like many different lentils.
There are British soldier course lentils, which are okay. There are stone lentils, and I think there's a couple wood lentils. The lintel over the door is cracked. Here's an example of the stone lintel and the stone sill.
You're gonna keep all those the same and just. focus
Yeah,
on-
it's the masonry openings for the other 9 windows stay the same. And we just try to, some of the overall pictures, the the window patterns are all over the place. It's a, 2/2. We would make, the drawing shows they would all be small pane,
So are they small pane in the front?
Yes, they are. That's the front. It's a little hard to.
2/2, but, oh, I see.
I
There's
think
6/6.
there's 6/6, and there's the storms on them. That's a little hard to.
So these are all 6/6 for small pane on the front, even the upper story?
The primary floor is 6/6. The upper story.
It's 2/2.
Looks like it's 2/2.
Maybe.
It is.
Yeah.
So are you asking the board to approve the replacement of the 9 windows at this point, or are you restoring them and then you'll come back if you can't restore them?
Well, we haven't explored, the actual condition of the windows. They look bad. The home inspection report cited the poor condition. We would restore the ones that are capable of restoring and replace the ones that are not. But there are 4 windows that, because of this change in sill height, are replacements.
So why don't we deal with so there sounds like, again, there's a question of windows, right? It sounds like there's the question, and there's 2 questions in the windows, replacement and modification of openings, right? And then there's the change to the deck. You're changing scale and like you're rebuilding the deck differently, or you're just shrinking the deck?
We're just reducing the width of it so that more daylight comes into the basement window.
But you're gonna keep the rest of the deck as is, or you're gonna rebuild the whole deck?
Well, we're going to try to just repair it, make it smaller. It's pressure treated wood. There's nothing wrong.
That's not precious.
It's not precious, right?
Yeah.
So, is there anything else that I've missed? Those 3 things?
No, there are.
It's the rate, it's the, the rate.
Oh, and
cells.
The alteration of the openings, right?
Right.
So there's 2 types of alterations. The changing the window size, raising the sills, and then you're eliminating a door, converting it to a window.
Correct. And there's a basement door that needs to either be restored or replaced.
Okay.
I think the challenge for us is that we need specificity in some of this, because when we approve it, we approve the window, we approve the door. And so I feel like there almost needs to be a level of, if you go in and you're like, okay, 3 are gonna change, 2 are gonna restore, then you can come back and we can approve that for you. We just need specificity on it. It's hard for us to approve it
Right.
generally.
And then the code inspector needs to come and know very, very clearly, this was intended to be replaced with this, and it was, for you to get your, permit.
The full application package had 2 possible window manufacturers and Simpson door specifications if you have to replace.
So then, in other words, we can approve and change and then not change.
So,
I have them, again, I have them on my computer. I just cannot, for some reason, share the screen.
well,
Here it is.
so he has presented 2 alternate window specs, and so are you asking for approval of both?
We just, in terms of availability and economics, we wanted to have a choice of 2.
And then also, I think it's almost 3 choices. It's restore or then replace with A or B.
Right.
Yes.
So I think the board, you're gonna have to make some choices today so that the board can approve something, and then you can come back if you need to for changes.
Well, the owner's first intent is to restore. So that's what we would propose to do.
Yeah, so Jan's bringing up some of the specs now.
Are these wood windows or these clad?
They're clad exteriors and wood interiors. Simulated divided lots.
Oh, are they similar to what already exists in the front of the house?
It looks like the front has a metal cladding on the ones, right?
The fronts,
Are these storms or are these?
yeah, there's storms and behind the storms is
These original.
a single glazed wood window.
Mhm. All right, I think here's the thing, the front is the most concerning to us, right? So generally, and you're not, are you proposing to replace, I'm sorry if I'm not following this, are you proposing to replace the 5 windows in the front? No.
Just the
All right, so then the second question is, given that we don't know if they, let's assume they're not restoring the rear windows. Are these windows, A and B options, are they acceptable to us? And maybe we should look at both A and B. And if so, in what configuration do we find to be most appropriate? Right, and I don't mean to configure it, I mean, like here's a 1/1, here's a 6/6, right? So do we have any particular concerns about that? Kim and Paul, I look to you both.
So the proposed improvement drawing, SK2, shows the pattern of the replacement windows.
That's great, let's hold that up, because that's,
It varies,
Well,
though,
varies.
'cause, yeah,
But it's just multiple.
yeah, it's also a pain, yeah,
Oh, I see, yeah.
yeah.
are there any other, is this option A or option B? I mean, is there another window?
So it's the Marvin G2, right, and then the Anderson something else?
Yeah,
A
the
series.
A-series
Yeah.
Anderson or the Marvin ultimate double home.
Mhm.
And those would be actual divided light, or those would be simulated?
Simulated.
Wow. This one.
It's the bottom one there.
Yeah,
There are 2 small awning windows at the very bottom that, you can't divide up into as many panes as the other ones because they're physically small.
Yeah, that's it. All right, does anybody want to express any concerns about the proposed alternatives?
Could you explain raising the sill or
So there's a kitchen.
There are two windows that are in the kitchen area, and their current sill is below counter height level, so to make it functional, we raise the sill up, shorten the height of the window, otherwise the masonry opening would stay the same.
So, Gary, what's behind this building? I mean, where can you see this from?
You can
Is
see
there
it
an
from
alley?
Partition Street.
I just was curious if you guys any thought about the light, something that made sense, because I don't know. I think it looks fine. It makes sense with the different proportions.
Do you have any idea what year the extension was from? Just out of curiosity.
No, it's not new.
I mean, I think this is fine. I would just like some clarity on like what we are specifically approving, and if it is to restore, that's fantastic. You
I
know,
mean, I also think there's a big difference in the quality of these proposed windows, right? Like, the Marvin's a little more expensive and the Anderson are the cheaper.
Well, yes, the
So-
Anderson A series is a good quality window that's been used in historic applications before.
Is it paintable?
Yes,
It's fiberglass clad?
it's, yeah, 5Rex or something like that. So on the proposed improvements, the scope summary for windows and doors says that aside from windows 9, 10, and 11, 12, which require replacement due to kitchen and living area functionality, the balance are to be restored wherever possible or replaced with new units that simulate the existing when restoration is not possible.
Okay. Yeah, Victoria, would you accept a contingency? I mean, the problem is, Gary, the only problem is we don't know what it's gonna look like when we're done, because you don't know what you're restoring versus replacing.
Well,
So that's why it gets trickier for us.
I mean, the Munson pattern would be as drawn.
Mhm.
You know, and well, to restore the existing windows means that we would have to live with the larger lights that are there. So that's the difference between the two.
so you wouldn't really be proposing restoring those 3 windows then? Those you would want. to
Those we
replace.
know you want, because you want uniformity of paint.
Yeah.
So we're not gonna, those that are 2/2 are gonna be replaced with small paint,
Right.
right?
Yes.
So that's guaranteed.
Yeah.
The second is if they're existing small paint and you can't restore them, you would also replace those.
Yes.
So then the question for us is, do we care if there's a hybrid between those? I don't think we usually have historically cared. And we have approved these type of windows for the back of the building. So does anyone have concerns about the alterations of the openings?
No.
That is something, I mean, if this was the front, it would be a much different question.
Right.
The back has been heavily altered. So, all right. Any other conversation about this project? Do you have what you need, Victoria, to make contingencies?
He proposed the Simpson doors. Everyone's happy, fine with the doors.
There were 2 pictures in the package for the doors.
In the binder 5. They're here.
Yeah.
So I got it.
Fine.
They were somewhat similar to what's there.
They're wood, right?
One
Yes.
scratch. Okay.
All right, well, that being said, do we have a proposal to find the application complete as with the contingencies described? Great, Hugh and Jeremy, all in favor? Do we have a motion to waive the public hearing and instruct the city attorney to draft a certificate of appropriateness with the caveats that we've articulated? Kim and Paul, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, so Gary, that'll be ready in 2 weeks.
Thank you very
You don't
much.
have, I don't think we're waiting for anything from you,
No, I think we have
but we're gonna
everything.
articulate what we just said here about the conditions. Great, thank you. Who's next? Okay.
This was, someone didn't have it.
116 Union Street.
Yeah.
It'll be an improvement.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning. I think I'll wait till you put a couple of images. If you can't, that's okay. I could just take out my big.
Yes, let's do that.
I am looking for a rear facade approval. My house is 116 Union. It is from 1785 is the, well, 1783, 85. I have reached out to the powers that be that we have in town for images and local historical records. Carol put me towards Jim Hoon and the city historical, I can't remember her name, the lady does it. City, runs the city historical department. And Jim at the historic library history room. I am unable to find any images so far. Jim doesn't have any. Carol was very helpful and pointed me in the right direction. She doesn't have any either. I'm gonna continue to reach out for some street facades, but this is my house from the street. Sorry, Craig.
No, they need it down there.
It looks great. We'll prove that. Thank you. So I am just looking for, to clean up a lot of the problems that happened with this structure over the years. It was initially built poorly. It failed within the first year of its construction, and immediately was just stitched together for the last 240 years. The facade did originally have 6/6 width. The street facade originally had 6/6. The rear, I'm unsure of at this point, but with a little bit of help from Jeremiah, if you're all familiar with his knowledge of our Nantucket built homes, this is the rear. It had a very, if you can't get my images, can you? I have one, I'll show you. Of what it looked like before and what I would like to, this is the rear. It had an addition from 1820, making the weird little addition on the stern, the house there, and there's a, I'll stop here, right? You've seen it plenty of times. So there was a structure built on the back of the house that was several inches lower than the framing was at the time. It was probably put on in the 1950s, let's say. And I removed that to lift and stabilize the structure. It was about 11 inches off from the southeast corner to the northwest corner. And the house itself overall probably sunk about 6 to 8 inches. So we lifted it all up. I replaced all the sills. And I'm not going with hemlock or elm or anything. It's all oak because that's what it was. And that's the aesthetic that I'd like to keep with the house. So I'm looking to redo the back of the house to a similar level as to what it may have looked like possibly at the end of the 19th century before some more recent chopping. It's a low roof in the back. And it had a big ugly booger on it, and I just wanted to get rid of it. For sure. So I'm trying to keep, there it is. So I'm trying to keep the rough aesthetic of the back of the house. So I'm looking to, actually, I'm sorry, what you have there is in fact not correct, because I'm missing, this is unfortunately my, I don't know how, I must have emailed it. I'm so sorry. There's one thing missing, and it is a window right here that is currently existing. It is on this image. It is a 6/6 window that for some reason shows 4/4. Right now at the back of the house, there are 2/2 windows that were put in probably in 1840s or so. So this here is not on your image on the screen, and that's my fault.
But no, I believe, Jan, there's 2 emails sent with this one. One was with the application, and then the other one is probably the one where he updated that image with the window. It was two separate emails. I explained that in the original email when I sent it out.
That is my engineering report.
Yeah, that's,
Watch.
we'll get it straightened out. I know right now she's having some IT issues.
Do you mind just showing him that plan of the rear for a second?
Sure.
The one that we have didn't have any materials or dimensions on it.
I believe the only thing I neglected to add was my siding material, but I'm realizing that I did not add, which is 7-meter clapboard siding, which is existing now. The other three sides are original wood. There's the street side is clapboard, and the east and west side are cedar shingle. And they're all salvageable and repairable. So I'd like to keep the aesthetic as close as to what I peeled away as possible.
Well, just.
Let's see on here. So there, so how much, are you re-siding or are you repairing the siding?
This side in here, at this level, would all have to be new. The rear structure, actually, if you would leave it there, this box in the back.
Yes.
This first level, that newest edition of 1840.
Right.
Has totally failed. And even with its failure, they still built above it. So to correct all these, we removed this structure here. This is probably about a 250-foot square room, this porch. And in doing so, alleviating that pressure, realized all these sills were fully rotten and all the floor joists were gone, going at the same rate. And as soon as I peeled away, I have no photographic evidence of the interior of this room, because as soon as we did it, it all just, which are the images I added to this packet, which is all the rotten sill, the floor joists that could not be saved. Everything else that has been taken out has been saved, fortunately, and all the other parts of the house. The only sill that wasn't needed to be replaced is actually the meeting room and the west side wall, but not that important.
So you're gonna, in the original part of the building, the upper register,
Yes.
you're gonna retain that siding.
100%.
And you're gonna replicate it for the lower register.
Yes, the lower register would be this siding here. This is not salvageable.
Okay, well, it's shown here as uniform,
Yes,
and it's all gonna be new, but it's gonna be the same as what's above.
correct. Yes,
So, I mean, there's a lot of things. There's the type of windows, the type of roof shingles, the type of stairs, the type of railing. There's no,
I am not asking for approval of the porch yet. I just want to ask if I can do that rear facade. And then I don't have dimensions or a porch in mind yet, because I would want to ask the board what I can do and if it's historically appropriate to the neighborhood, and then ask for.
Well, listen, I mean, we can open this, so what you're really asking for is a conceptual approval of this.
Yes.
And you will bring us better specifications of this.
Yes,
I would say the answer to that, I'll venture to say is yes. And like, what's there and more appropriate. We're not gonna tell you what to do with the deck. You'll
yeah, I'm gonna
figure
tell
out and
you,
you'll bring it back.
yeah, I'll
to
tell you
us.
what I'd like to do.
And you're gonna bring it back and you're gonna tell us very specifically what materials, the list that Victoria just gave, and we're gonna approve that. So,
Great.
I mean,
we could do just the siding today. I think we have enough
would that be
specificity
helpful?
on
We
just
can
That'd
the
be
approve
great.
it, and then we can add to it as you bring us other things.
I would just ask for door, window placement and siding material.
You want openings approved.
I'm sorry, openings approved, if that's
But
possible.
you can't approve the openings without knowing what the sizes are. You have to know that, because I had her know it based on building code.
Yeah, they are on the.
So
plan.
they are on the plan.
Yeah, they're.
But then they have to know that, and I have to know it too.
They're on
You
the
can't
plan.
approve an opening without knowing the details of the opening, because if you get approved for this, and if you don't do that,
Yeah, of
you
course.
don't get approved. You
Yeah,
got to
so
come
let's
back.
find, is there a place where the openings are measured?
The roof openings are on the plan.
On what
Sorry,
sheet?
right here, right?
Yep.
32 by 40, 32 by 40, 36, 60, and 30.
So that's what, if you're proposing that, then that's what you get approved for.
This here on this page, I believe is what I'm.
But you can't put anything in it until.
Of course not. Yeah, of course not. I just want to know that I can frame and move to the next phase and then ask what windows.
So that's for the measurement. They're included on in the subsequent page of this plan.
Mhm.
This is the openings and siding you wish to do. So we can approve that. That's enough for you to let him move to the next thing, and then you'll amend your application. And you know what you're gonna bring. You're gonna bring your specs and
Yeah,
all the.
I'll bring the material specs for to close the openings.
Great.
And any light fixture, any railing.
Yeah, anything.
Absolutely.
The windows.
When you're ready.
These are gonna not be factory windows. I am restoring everything in kind, so these are gonna be made by somebody in town and,
That is exciting.
yeah, thank you.
It's really great.
What the windows are gonna be made?
Yes,
So again, on the side, you should probably have approval of what the windows. are
before I
gonna
do
be
that,
made of.
absolutely.
You have made.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, my intention is to have them made by a local maker. And,
You should give us drawings of them before.
and
you have
yeah,
them.
so before I do that, I'm gonna give you specs for it.
Very good advice. It happens the other way.
Yeah, well, this is my first time coming here, but usually I ask for permission. 100% of the time before I go see Craig with a,
All right.
He was thinking about the rear of the structure. That's why if you noticed earlier, he said it had to be removed. If he didn't remove it, nature was gonna remove
I
it.
always got you. Okay,
And
okay,
and
okay.
you can see, if you look at that back window on the corner,
Yeah.
the rot to that right there, if I gave it another probably 2 weeks, would have been a lot.
this, actually, this whole corner,
Yeah,
from
that's,
here to here, I am rebuilding and is going to be part of your application. That's part of, yes,
This application?
it should be. Apparently it is, and I am now backpedaling and not realizing I brought that up at the
It
beginning.
says it on the plan to replace the existing footing and
It
it's very
looks the
well,
same, right?
100%, yeah.
but it doesn't indicate.
I even found some old windows that were hidden inside of the period. I'm gonna bring to the,
Hold on, so you're gonna change the openings?
no, their opening's already there. They're crushed
I see.
and
I understand.
repurposing interior material.
So we're putting three things then.
We're approving. Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah, all right. Good luck.
We need a
Thanks.
motion.
But we have to.
to.
So do I have an app, do I have a motion to find the application complete such as it is? Yes, Hugh and Jeremy. Do I, all in favor? Aye. Do I have a motion to waive a public hearing? Only on this rear facade?
Only on the rear
Let's be
facade.
super specific, because I think we'll have a lot of comments on the front. And then and to instruct the city attorney to issue a certificate of appropriateness with the conditions we've outlined in this discussion. Kim and Paul, all in favor? 2 weeks, you'll have that.
Thank you.
Thank you. Who's next? This is really exciting, Henry. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Yeah, I think someone else would have just torn it down.
Yeah.
Well, anyone else would have. Thank you very much. Have a great day. See you.
Next up is 456 Union Street.
Good morning, everybody. Crystal White is here with Jason and Elizabeth Biker, the property owners of 456.
Oh, sure. Now you show up. Sorry. We have been powerless without you.
If you need a copy for yourself, I have it on the
You
computer.
were
I
missed,
think.
Michael.
Oh, you were.
The technical difficulties are plaguing us otherwise. So this is a new construction of a garage with an upstairs apartment. The intent for the apartment is short-term lodging. It's got a footprint of 492 square feet. And the entrance to the apartment upstairs is an exterior entrance. The drawings included, if you go to, the back, we have the materials called out for the project.
While Crystal's doing that, the application that she just gave you, if you would, put today's date on it.
Sorry about that. Okay. But if you get to A301, you can see the materials that have been called out for this project. So can we have this digitally? Yeah, you should. Which phone are you, what are we doing? I was just calling out A301 as for the material, but giving everybody an opportunity to look through the materials. We have included photos of the neighborhood as well. There are a bunch of other carriage house structures in the rear of Allen on,
Crystal, it's here, right? It's gonna abut this,
correct, it's
right?
that, it's that,
this empty parking space.
correct.
We want to put. something-
Yeah, so it's empty right now, but the pictures are there just to show you what surrounds it.
Right, that's great. It's very
It's
helpful.
really the only,
And the renderings we have are at the end of this, right? So A201 is a rendering and A202 is a 3D
yep,
and A303 is an elevation.
So Crystal, it's where the red fence is.
correct,
It's where that car is, right? It's density out.
correct. There's also an aerial photo where you can see it marked up from the satellite view. No, it's a whole.
I think you got it.
It's a new.
Is it on, why is this Park of Hudson here? Is this on?
That's across, Ford Street. It's on the alley. I just included it in there just because everything along that alley isn't sort of the old, construction.
Yeah, have this, you can see the house through the. Here's the house, right? This is the house it's being attached to, right? That's your
Yeah.
house.
That's the best picture of that spot.
Not attached. It's on.
It's detached?
It's detached. Yeah, and you can see that in one of the renderings. Shows even the location of the. Oh, yeah, that is in front. Here, this is the photos, so it's not attached.
Crystal, will any of this be visible from Union Street?
Not from Union, but it will be from Warren Street. It's sort of at the corner there where you have Oldie Hudson and there's that sort of vacant lot on the corner. So you can kind of see it, well, not kind of, you can see it from Warren Street.
What's the material of the screen kind of walks out? I can't see that anywhere. I mean, it must be this way.
Yeah, I can see any detail.
You mean those vertical lines on the staircase?
Yeah. I don't see that called out, because it's hardy board, it's shingles. Yeah, I just don't know what that material is.
I think there's somewhere that it says solar screen, but I'm trying to find where. It's on A302.
I was gonna say.
Oh, yes, 1x2 custom solar screen, yeah. I guess I just don't really know what that is.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like, I don't have any issue with it, I just don't know what that means. I think that there's probably like a lot of different screens that you can use, you know? Oh, but it's gonna be this custom thing like.
One of these things, like,
Yeah.
I don't know, they could be really dark. They could-
Yeah, it could.
Closer, yeah.
All right, thank you. Do you want to, is there any commentary about the building before we start? I mean, it's a new building,
It's
so.
a new building.
It gets a little more scrutiny than we just the back. So So is there any commentary you want to make or?
I would say, I think that it blends in with the existing structures that are on the alley right now.
So they're Marvin windows. And the doors aren't specified, right? Like they are shown on the elevations, but, and the openings are there, but we don't know.
There's a door schedule, A401.
Yeah, it doesn't have a manufacturer or any specific like finish or material. The windows have a
No,
mark.
the windows are finished.
You want some more details on the door?
I think,
That needs to finish.
yeah, I think it's just completing the schedule. I don't think I have any issue with the way they appear in elevation or in plan. It's just to have the full content. And then just a little bit more information on what that solar screen means. I know it's custom, which is great, but I don't know. Like visually, it looks fine on the plan. I have no problem with it, but would just like to know what it is. So when Craig goes on site, he knows what a solar screen is, and we all know what that means. Sure.
Absolutely.
But otherwise, I think it's great.
Okay, but I do think it's, and then the commission, I'm gonna just put this out there. This is a new building, prominently placed, even though it's on an alley. And so our general practice for that is to have a public hearing where we solicit input on the appropriateness from the town, and it informs, it doesn't, the public's opinion is informative to us, but it's just a data point that we take in before we have our information. So I don't see any point to going through all of this. I will tell you, where I'm not sharing the meeting, I was just speaking, the asymmetry of the building, the way it hangs over a cantilever would be a factor I would consider in the appropriateness of it. And the arrangement of the windows would also be, the way it's 4 and 2 would also be something that I would consider in it. So if
Do you mean, the front, from Terry Ford?
I'm mostly interested in this, right? So
Right.
that is, I think, in my experience on this commission, that has a tendency to make it look less in accord with its surroundings. The scale, we've approved 2-story garages, we've approved garages with studios above. That is a fact of life in Hudson now, for, and you have a large mass next to you. So I just think that what you're gonna hear from the public, in my experience, and other commissioners, particularly one who's not here, is what aesthetically about this structure makes it appropriate for here? And I think those 2 elements, that's just one man's opinion, leap out at me. I don't know if other commissioners want to give guidance, because you have an opportunity to reconsider your submission before with a public hearing,
Sure.
right?
Can I ask a couple clarifying?
Absolutely.
So the 4 and 2, are you referring to the, the sort of wood panels in the garage, the double garage door?
I'm referring to the windows.
So.
There's a bay of 4 windows and a bay of 2. It's not.
A201, right,
Oh,
yes,
I'm sorry, yeah.
yes, okay. And are you, so,
I'm not saying that they need to be symmetrical. I'm just saying in my experience, symmetry or a more conscious design has a tendency to convey appropriateness to the commission.
Okay, yeah, I mean, I think we would be very open to, there's no reason we couldn't have a window there. So there's 4 across, so, just to address the overhangs, the cantilevers. So we had really done that to maximize a livable space above there, because we do intend for this to be a long-term permanent home, versus, sort of a smaller short-term rental thing. Eventually, this will be a long-term permanent home. And because the lot line is quite narrow, the cantilever was the way to, at least from the alley facing, so this upper left elevation, there's no other way to get the full, maximize the width of the lot while still building, while maintaining, construction on our footprint. And then on the back side, it also cantilevers into our own backyard. And we had done that as well, so that we can maintain a reasonable backyard space, which would be a shared space. So just in your thinking of sort of sharing that that could be a challenge from a public perspective. Do you think that the the suggestion or a reasonable solution is just to make that totally straight up and down, remove the cantilevers and just live with the smaller footprint.
We generally say that we're not here to tell you what to do and how to design. My personal aesthetic opinion is that that would be more appropriate, because there's just typically not that many structures that want.
Yeah, I do want to say one thing with the way that it's illustrated, looking at A201, the elevation 1. So you do have the cantilever, right?
Yes.
But, and it's not showing the wall behind it where it actually squares out the building. It does appear like the building goes like this entirely, but it does not. It's a square at the end of the day. So it's a little bit
I
like,
see. You're saying
overwhelmingly-
It's an inset
Yeah.
element.
so this illustration makes it stick out more like a sore thumb, where I think
Oh,
actually
because
will.
of, you mean because the house behind it will make it appear.
No,
No,
the building.
building
Yeah.
itself.
The building is more, has footprint behind it, right?
This.
No,
Look,
so the.
This is, if you look at the drawing, the illustration below it, right? This also extends to the lot line, right?
So that's the back side.
Oh.
It can
Did
leave
I
on the side and
misunderstand?
so the, yeah, so the, from the,
I was looking
in
at.
elevation 1, on the right side, that whole side is totally flat, totally straight, not cantilevered. The left side, has a cantilever that goes all the way to the back.
Yeah.
And then there's a cantilever on the back side of the structure, which is the shared backyard to the house.
Yeah, I had the thing turn 90 degrees when I was looking at the.
So the cantilever does
Never
not
mind.
extend to the
That's
alley
what I was
or to the
thinking.
west part of the ring.
Squared it.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's how I reviewed.
No,
it.
so that kind of
That's right.
But it extends to the alley.
The cantilever will be, it's to the extent above the side of the building on the east part of the building and the south side of the street. So the yard going towards their house will have a cantilever, and if you're looking at it from the alley, it'd be the left side of the house.
You might just, why don't you say that? Because
One thing that, this is just my opinion, is that usually when we approve new construction, it's either very similar in blends or it's. And what we have here is a bit of a mishmash combination where you have elements that are contiguous with the building. And then you have these modern windows that are kind of stuck in, and you have a more traditional garage. So it's almost like picking a lane.
Okay.
It's like, do we want to go modern? And then the cantilever would, I think, make more sense. But I think the problem is you're using traditional elements and you're cantilevering, and it feels like it's this bit of a, you know what I mean?
I think you're saying, well, I don't know if it's coming, that might be the guidance to the architect, right? So I'm gonna ask your first question. If it were symmetrical up and down, I think it would have, and there was symmetry in the window treatment.
Yes.
And those casement windows are generally not something that one sees in Hudson, so I think you need something more that's double hung, that just is, right? So I think if it were that it would, then the lane would be sort of historically compatible, right? So what's a word that says, it reflects the historic nature of our town. The other type of new construction we've approved is something that's very different. Like there's I don't know if the building is yet green, but it will be on Upper Union Street. That is a radical departure. It was a conceived project by an architect and was approved by this commission, even though it looks, and it's not symmetrical and it doesn't look anything historic building. So I think Jeremy's advice is perhaps guide your architect to go one way or the other.
A more cohesive idea.
Right.
So yes.
So I think we would go the route of not super modern, just because it's next to that very kind of iconic carriage house.
Yes,
Right
that's
there,
true.
and we don't want it to look like an eyesore next to that, we think that's a very beautiful building, so we thought we were sort of leaning more towards that. It's good to hear that that's not how it's coming across.
Right.
I think we can certainly address the windows, that's not a sticking point for us. I think the gaining, maximizing the livable space in the second floor is a priority for us. And so I guess my question would be, if there would be a way aesthetically to make the appearance of the cantilever go away so that it is a symmetrical building, even if it's a false, like it could be.
You're just driving a gate perhaps. or
Yeah,
something
something that extends visually.
I think in your renderings, you ought to show that, and
Yeah.
you'll get much more likelihood of an embrace.
Okay.
It may be a different articulated window.
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's like the molding.
So the like one and one.
And look around and look at your house
Yeah.
and look at, and the materials should be, then we also need, in the public hearing, we're gonna look at the materials, or after the public, we'll look at the materials also, like what's the roofing and, what's the siding, right? Is it gonna look like,
Yes.
is it gonna look more like your house or is it gonna look more like?
So I think we would lean towards our house, because I think eventually we'll paint the two structures the same.
There you go, there you go.
So our house, though, while it's a very historic house, not a lot has been done to the exterior. The windows are not, they're not original. Oh, no, they are original. They're very old glass, but they're this 1/1. I'm not sure what that's called, but the single.
1/1.
So if we carried that over and then carry the very simple molding that we have, does that, and it's more symmetrical, is that generally what you're describing as?
I think it would, yes.
Yes.
Absolutely. I think those two modifications you've described, and then explain to us why it's gonna be, I love what you said about not disrupting that carriage house, because
Yeah.
that's a jewel, right? And so why it's gonna, you're trying to make it cohesive with that.
Yeah.
And your home, I think is gonna work out.
Okay, great, thank you. That's all reasonable. We'll take it.
So do I have a motion to find the application complete? It is not complete.
I think no.
We're not finding it complete. Do I have a motion to schedule a public hearing? Please do that.
So we can schedule a public hearing.
Is 2 weeks good enough for you, or do you want 4 weeks?
We probably need 4 weeks.
We need 4, because there's zoning's pushed
Yeah,
back.
we've got zoning this month and we'll have zoning this month and next month, so we're not in as a big
Yeah.
crush.
So why don't you do this? Could you just reach out to Phil and let us know what it is? Because we just need time to publicize the public hearing.
Yeah. Also,
Does that work, Victoria?
if that works, but does it make sense to go to zoning for your variance? Is it just a height variance or is it setback also?
There's required variances on this across the board. It was lot coverage.
No, not lot coverage, because it's central
Oh,
commercial.
that's right, I'm sorry.
It was a height,
Height and side yards.
yeah,
I was saying that if the board's not, if they're not going to approve this cantilever, does it make sense to go for the side yard variance? That's,
Yeah.
I mean, you just have to decide which way you're going.
well, I think if anything. Yeah, we'll figure that out.
Okay.
Because your cantilever affects into your.
Yeah,
Right.
but if the cantilever, if we have a faux something coming down, that's still not part of the building that would factor our setbacks, is it?
Yes. The structure.
Yeah, because the property line goes from the property line from the center of the earth to the side.
But
It's
we have
anything
fence,
that comes
that would
in.
be like a fence sort of thing would be included as part of that?
No, it's fence not part of structure.
Right. So that's what I'm saying, we have some sort of fence-like thing coming down, but I mean, we've got to work on sort of some.
That's right, you'd have to use that one also, like however you turn it. Then it would have to figure out how to zone it for- yeah, that becomes more of a legal interpretation of the footprint.
Yeah.
That I don't think I can answer right now without
Yeah.
really seeing.
So
it.
I have a question for Phil.
So
Why,
it takes you.
why, if you already have for variance, why don't you just come straight down on the first floor as well?
The problem is with construction, since we have structures already, all the way to the lot line on both sides, we can't, it's impossible for them to set the foundation. Because if they were vacant, then, we get permission from our neighbors to be able to access, and then we would go. Trust me, I would definitely just take it all.
So are you even leaving enough room for you to access the sidewall to repair it in the future?
Yeah, there's enough room in there. They just can't build, it's the foundation
It's the
build,
foundation.
not the access to the side. So we either remove the cantilever and have just a narrower foundation footprint all the way up. Or we have a cantilever. We can't extend that cantilever width all the way to the ground.
It's part of the nature of being the last one to build there.
The building to the east of us is right up on the lot line.
So, I mean, I think you guys should decide whether you want to proceed with design before you go for your variance, or whether you want to get your variance and come back with the risk that you have to go back and amend your variance in the future.
Yeah, but we'll discuss that.
And then,
Yeah. But it sounds as though we.
Well, then we don't really have an action here. We're not
So,
gonna schedule the
we're
public.
not going to
hearing.
schedule a public hearing. You come back with new plans and then they'll hold the public hearing after that.
Could we, in order to avoid a motion for a public hearing, could we just say that we're gonna schedule a public hearing at a date that the homeowner will provide? No,
We're
then
supposed
fine,
to
then
be-
someone will remind us to do that.
Okay.
So we're just not gonna vote on
Right.
it.
They'll come back to it.
Okay.
It's in the last thing, 3G, I think there's.
With a preview of.
Walter had a question about 311 being, 311. Walter emailed a little while ago.
So then I'll actually have a figure.
It said, is 318 at 31 Allen Ave. 31 Allen, maybe that's, maybe that's 318. Maybe
318 is a preview.
could Walter on that one?
I don't think so. Are, Sarah, are you 318?
318 out, yes.
Yes. Oh. Is Walter Chatham your architect?
No, Wendy was.
But you know, you're not appropriate.
Oh, wait, we can skip over there.
Real quick, anybody got anything for me? I have to go.
Is 31 Allen on? Walter said that he was told it was on.
31 Allen is not on the agenda.
I don't think I got anything.
Okay.
We don't need you for that.
I think there's one, we skipped the one on one of the 700 block warrant.
Just
Crescent Garage.
752.
Classic garage.
Yeah. So I gotta go first of the because you don't need me. We do, Paul? Whenever.
For 2 weeks.
Thank
We
you,
know how
guys.
to find you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Access bill.
Have a good weekend, everybody.
Bye now.
Thank you very much for your
Bye,
time.
thank you.
So we have, very quickly, sir, before 318 Allen, we do have Crescent Garage here now.
Hi.
Hi, well, Crescent Garage. So what are we, we're gonna vote on this or?
There was a lot of confusion about the procedures for seeker review and all this, but this board classified it as type 2 because it's an existing building with a less than 4,500 square foot extension. So they asked on the CFA.
Just to be clear, the seeker stuff is from New York State, from our economic development grant. And it's part of their bureaucracy, so they need the seeker completed. Now that they know that you guys determined it at type 2, what they want us to do is go back to SHPO to get Chris approval top of our CFA. And if they need anything further required, as far as seeker goes, after the Chris approval, they'll let us know, and we may have to come back to you if we don't. I think, I don't know if there's some kind of documentation saying that it's a type 2 determination, if that comes through in the letter or the
You can put it
CFA.
in the certificate, I'm sure.
Okay, so we have a certificate. Can you pull it up?
Yeah.
Okay.
I just mirrored it, so now she used to have 2 screens, and the problem was the sharing between the 2 screens, so I just mirrored her, that's not so much she shared.
Oh, no, I'm sorry, the CFA that I emailed.
Oh, let's see. When did you do that?
During the meeting?
Oh.
I didn't need to.
So, yeah, so it says on the CFA, it says secret type 2.
Okay.
So that's what we've got, and I guess if you need something else, you can come back once you've identified what that is.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, there's no environmental impact from what we're doing, and so it's just a, bureaucratic loop that we seem to be stuck in. But I think if we get to C of A, then we can go and proceed. So.
Okay.
And we voted on the C of A.
We did.
Yes,
Oh, okay, so then if we voted on it during the last meeting.
I'm pretty sure.
That's what was in the agenda, that was what was in the minutes. So,
Yes, it was modifications to a previously approved application, streamlined rooftop addition, setback rooftop pergola. Commission Chair Foreman asked for motion to approve as presented. Commissioner Fiber, so motion. Commissioner Stein, second motion unanimously carried.
yep, so it's that, I think you're just waiting for it to be signed, correct?
Yeah, and we just need a copy so that we can go back to the state with a copy of it.
Okay.
Do you really want to have that angled staircase element on the front? Just throwing it out there.
I don't want to get back into it.
Smart.
So you're good. So I think that you just need to pick up and do it.
Wait, he
It'll
did,
be, we have to vote.
no,
No,
apparently we
you're
voted at the last meeting,
Oh, we did.
so it's just a matter of, he needs it signed and
It needs to
stamped.
be stamped and signed.
If you change your mind, we're always available. Day or night. Okay.
So, Bill was there when we voted, but you are acting as chair. Are you able to sign?
I am.
So maybe we can get that done.
I can send it to them right now and.
Yeah, just change the date on the bottom, because I
You
had
mean you're
changed
gonna
it
send
to
it
March.
in
because we
DocuSign?
can Vote today.
I'm sorry, what?
So the date at the bottom was, it now has today's date on it, but it should just say February 23rd, 2024, since it was voted on at the last meeting. See, if you scroll down to the bottom,
Mhm.
it says March 8th. Date,
Yes.
that should be changed to February 23rd, 2024, with an 8 minute say it was voted on.
Okay, I just need to duplicate this. Alright. In a day. Okay, and you need this changed to what date?
February 23rd.
Yeah.
And then
You just walked
Yeah, I counted.
Didn't know you.
And then I'll send this to John Shovel.
Michael said he could print it today after the meeting,
Okay.
and then John can sign.
Where you print it right here? Right here, right here. You'll have it momentarily. Can we proceed then?
So should I?
Yes.
I
Just
wait
wait,
to
just
get it
wait.
directly from
He's
you?
gonna print it, I'll sign it, you're done.
Yeah, but we're just gonna get through the rest of the meeting first.
Okay, and
And I'll just
I
I'll just ask
the
the
stamp too, or?
I'll just asterisk and put the staircase elimination on the certificate.
Just never know.
That's what, get from the meeting.
Okay, we would use this tool for a moment, right? So then we will remove and we will look at your preview. Welcome.
Great, thank you. It's great to be here. Super excited about this project. There may be a staircase elimination in the back of this. That remains to be seen.
Is this your home or you're the architect?
This is my home.
Great.
So is this what you were looking at?
Yes, and my architect, Wendy Woodruff, sent these to me yesterday.
Mhm.
These are all existing conditions. So when she gets further along in the drawings, I think of the existing conditions and the proposed changes, but right now they're the same. So that's where we are in the process. So what I'm intending to do is to convert 318 Allen Street to two townhomes. Currently, it's situated as a single family. There's been tenants in the properties for a long time, and going back to when John Tibbetts, who owned it, probably built it, but I don't really have visibility on that. Assuming he constructed it, he actually had a boarder in the house. And, you know, it's an old building, so it's changed over time. So this is 318 Allen, and it's attached, it shows a party wall with 320 Allen. So 320 shows in all the drawings and things, and it shows here, but what we're talking about is 318 Allen. And what I'm intending to do is to make the 3-story portion of the structure into one townhome. And the 2-story portion, which faces the garden, into another townhome. If you were inside the building, I think you'd come to understand why that really makes sense, I think, for this structure. Both townhomes will be separated by really solid brick wall, interior wall. So it also works for the layout and things. So that's sort of the picture. What I'm intending to do here is to make two townhomes out of them. The schematic drawings that we've completed, sort of the early interior design drawings, were really created in a way to allow this to be converted back to a single family in the future easily, if someone chooses to do so. And I feel like the design that we have in the interior works great as two townhomes. It's not really making any sacrifices to allow that future flexibility back to a single family. And if somebody in the future who might own it chooses to make it into a single family, again, I think they can do so without really huge modifications.
Can I see that closer?
Yes, sorry. So that's sort of big picture what I'm intending to do.
Oh, I see, yeah, wrapped around the corner, I didn't understand how it's.
Exactly, and there's this entrance here, just sort of turns out to be the primary entrance for the garden facing townhome. And of course,
Tracy, like a copy.
it's hard if I can-
After the.
that entrance is the main entrance to the Allen facing, Allen Street facing townhome. Yes.
We're not gonna see any change or alteration to anything outside.
We will propose some changes on the outside, some in the back, one in the front. And then these stairs are really they're kind of the temporary stairs. They need to be rebuilt and rebuilt in a way that probably reflects the construction in the front.
Yeah.
Right now in the front.
Yeah.
Hey, I need this here.
No, you can.
I think it's great where it is. Right. Mike, so what do you make, you ever see that? Are you altering the facade? I can't remember what this part of the facade looks like today, but what alterations are you making to the facade
so
that don't reflect the two residences?
That we're considering.
If you're on the Zoom still and you might want to mute.
Considering to make this, a great two-family home, and even, I think even a better single-family home. In the front here, so this veranda, I'm calling it a veranda, which actually predates the porch. The Sanborn maps that I have indicate that the porch was built probably around 1900, maybe a little bit before that. The earliest Sanborn I have is sometime 1880s, and it shows this veranda here, so it's going to be older than that. There used to be a door right here, and if you look carefully from the outside, you can see the brick looks a little different. If you look on the inside, you can see cinder block, right where the door was. If we do propose that, when we come back to the board, we'll show that very clearly, the interior opening with a photograph I'm showing you. So there used to be a door here, and I'd like to put a door back there onto this veranda. And this existing door, which opens onto the veranda, looks like it was modified. That opening looks like it was modified at one time. And you can see that from the outside, 4 or 5 inches of brick around it. Looks a little different than the rest of the brick. I don't know if the door was always there. I don't know if it was a window at one point. I don't know if it was a wall at one point, but there was some modification there. I'd like to change it to a window. And anyway, that's what I'm thinking about doing. I'd also like to put stairs from this veranda down to the grass level.
Oh, no,
The reason I want to do that is because the 3-story townhome has a very small rear yard, and really nothing in the front. And I think the site plan that we're developing really lends itself beautifully to giving part of the yard to the 3-story townhome. And this would be a great way to access it. I think it works. I think it works great for this building. My initial concern was, if I give this part of the yard to the 3-story townhome, the garden facing townhomes, people look out on the yard. It's actually not that easy to look out on that portion of the yard, even if you're standing inside here.
Is that brick piece part of the 3-story or part of the 2-story?
This brick piece here is part of the 2-story.
So so that window's gonna look onto somebody else's veranda?
Right, I figured it's better than a door looking on the veranda. The door now is all glass, almost down to the floor. It's four panes of glass. I haven't thought yet about how to provide a sense of privacy. I thought maybe, make the glass a little obscure in the window. I don't know if that's, appropriate historically. I haven't gotten to that level of detail yet. But right now, that.
But it's,
that
so
door is-
it's an changing of it's an alteration of those two openings as described, as addition of a exterior staircase from that historic veranda.
That's right.
What about, go to the left, anything else? Is that last addition currently brick versus, like, what's that part? Is
Yeah,
that not
that's all.
changing any of that?
The only changes I proposed here, and I don't think this is controversial at all, but these two stairwells are very temporary. They look like they were made in the past maybe 20 years. And so those need to be replaced with something that I think looks more similar to the stairwell in front. It looks more historically
I
appropriate.
don't think that would be controversial.
I would like to install a basement entrance in the back here. I'm familiar with Bilco doors, which look really ugly, but the profile of the Bilco door, built out of wood, I think would be appropriate for this house. I've seen it on other houses that are really old, photographs of it. It looks quite appropriate. I used to live in a home in Hoboken, wasn't quite as old as this, it was built in the 1880s, and I converted what was a small window into the basement, into a door to the basement. And it just was fantastic, because it allowed me to take care of the yard so much easier, so go through the dining room, get down to the basement, get my tools and things. So I think that would be really helpful for
I mean, that looks better.
What's that?
I mean, I can't say for sure, but that would look better if you just built a door out there without the building.
Oh, I see. I see. Right. It's something, it's very early, so I'm not sure about.
So that's,
all
but
the
conceptually,
details.
those are an access to the basement.
Right,
An access to the veranda,
right,
to that townhouse.
right.
Update, a historically appropriate update of those railings, right, or the stairs, no, the stairs.
Right, exactly. These two stairs, exactly.
Why do you need both those stairs to a single house?
I'm sorry.
Why do you need both of those staircases to a single house?
There's a lot of staircases, and I'm thinking they're adding another one. They are there.
And there's doors to them.
And there's doors to them. And I think the way that we were laying out the interior, even though there's a lot of doors, I think it works okay. I'm imagining I believe the kitchen is gonna be back here. And so these stairs will come down to what is gonna be like a little patio in the back of the garden. Dining room table will be like a dining room outside. That works nicely. This is a great primary entrance to the garden facing. And it's beautiful. It's really, so, those stay. I think the addition of these stairs will look great. Functionally to be fantastic for the 3-story townhome. But yeah, there's a lot of doors. There's more doors in the back. Getting down there.
Are there, okay, any other things you want to call out to us about changes that you're gonna make?
Right, so these are the changes on these two elevations, the south-ish back. I understand this concept of Hudson North, so the Hudson south face of the property and the Hudson east facing elevation, west facing elevation of the property, thank you. In the back of the property, I don't have quite as helpful a visual, but the changes I'm contemplating there, probably best viewed on Plan A 2.1. And there's.
Jan's gonna pull it up for us.
Is this just a pre-application?
It's a pre-application, yes.
Discussion.
Exactly, just to get some feedback and guidance and share, getting anything. So in the back, these stairs that exist that come off the 3-story townhome, they're currently made out of, with an iron railing and a brick. All the other staircases are wood. The bricks are totally falling apart. Every time I step on them, I press down a little bit. I'm like, has it gotten so bad that you can't hold the weight anymore? And you can see the bricks they're all blown out. So I think it'd be more historically appropriate to rebuild that in wood. I can't imagine it was brick in the back, wood in the front originally. So and again, I don't want to be presumptuous and say that.
I don't think that's gonna be controversial.
I don't think that'll be controversial. the entrance to the basement, the only exterior entrance to the basement now is a long ramp to a door. It's a short door, but it's like you can walk through it. Maybe you have to bend down a little bit. I'd like to make those stairs instead. Probably that would be controversial, I don't know.
Why do you need two entrances to your basement?
So this entrance, existing entrance would be the one that people in the three-story town.
Oh, I see, it's two separate. Got it, understood, thank you.
Right, and then the last change that I'm proposing is there's a door, relatively close to Partition Street. in
And
the back.
what page are you on?
Actually, it's not, it looks like these have been hand modified, so you're not actually being able to see it.
Right, but what I'm working off of is A 2.1.
Right.
And
There it is. So that's the staircase on the, yeah, why don't you put it up?
Yeah. So both of these staircases are,
Brick inlay.
brick down below and, filled with dirt or just construction debris. And then this is iron railing. Both of these are blown out right now, and they either have to be rebuilt or reconstructed. And I think it would be more appropriate for it to be made out of wood, which is the rest of the staircases, including the one off the front porch. So I'd like to reconstruct this one out of wood in a historically appropriate way. And then this staircase and this door here don't really work with the interior layout. I could have mobilized the door and, you sort of wouldn't know it from the inside of the house. But what I'd like to do is eliminate this staircase. And the reason I want to do this is to give more of a backyard, to the more functional backyard to the people in the three-story townhome. So they'll both have a small backyard and then a part of the side yard. To make the backyard more functional, because the door is no longer needed or useful for functionality to the people in the two-story townhome, I'm considering closing it off. If I did do that, if it were approved, I put brick in there. I'd set the brick back from the plane of the facade. I'd keep the header here, so you can see that was, there's no ground. Yeah, I don't want to eliminate it. I don't want to pretend like it wasn't ever there. So that I'm imagining maybe is one of the more controversial changes. It can be, you can't see it from Mountain Street at all. You can see it from Partition. You probably won't see it after a fence is put up. But that's one of the other changes. So I know that's a lot, which is partly why.
It is not in our experience.
Oh, good.
Right, so I agree with you that that'll get a lot of scrutiny.
Right.
So just a little bit about our process.
Yes.
This is first of all, thank you. It's a wonderful project. On behalf of Hudson, we're so glad that you're taking such an important building and approaching it with such sensitivity.
I'm so glad.
So the second thing is that the review is gonna need a public hearing. We can tell you that right away.
Sure, understand.
And the scrutiny is gonna be pretty high on changes.
Right.
So, but I hope you'll feel that the wind is at your back, because we want this to be restored and lived in and beautified and preserved.
Thank you.
So, I don't know, does any other commissioners have any reactions? There's nothing here that I think you shouldn't submit to us.
Yeah.
Like, oh God, no one will ever do that. I think you should just approach it with the same sensitivity you are. The commission, we schedule a public, you submit your application when you are ready.
Mm-hmm.
I assume you have zoning stuff to do with the two, is it already a two-family?
It's a single family. I think.
It's right behind us.
Yeah.
So I'm on Union and Partition.
Okay.
So it's the beautiful big brick building behind the Salvation Army, where they do the food stuff. It's in from 3rd Street. And our understanding is it was a big building. I'm sure Carol would probably know this, or Paul, maybe you do. And it was divided by the two descendants, two sisters. I think.
Yeah.
Is that true? I thought it was built as a duplex. It was not built as a duplex?
No, not yet, no. I think it was built as a.
It was built as a duplex. Oh, you mean this side was further divided?
No, that the
It
side that
looks
you're
like it was built
talking
as a
about
duplex.
was single family home.
Yeah.
Right, that's my understanding.
Yeah.
So I think when John DeBois or Juan lived there with his family at 318 Allen, it was 134 Allen, he occupied it, his family as a single family. And then 320 when you're on Allen, looking at the buildings, 320 looks like sort of a, you know, a mirror image of part of 318. That was occupied by Waterman. So totally, you know, different families occupied these two.
Right, but do you have to do any, just regarding our process?
Yes.
If you have anything to do with zoning,
I don't think so. I've spoken to Craig,
then Craig will know that.
and I think I could do up to a 3-family without zoning, but I'm proposing to.
What we're recommending, what we will do is you'll come to us when your application is complete. We will have a public hearing. It's scheduled 2 weeks later than that.
Right.
Public gives us feedback. You present to the public. And historic photos are welcome. Historic anything is welcome in the presentation. And then we will vote. We'll have a dialogue with you, obviously. So, and then then 2 weeks later, a certificate of appropriateness is specified. And your application is going to need to have, you know, drawings of anything you're changing, befores and afters, historic photos. You know what, everything is in a full application.
Right.
And I think it's, you know, it'll go great.
Great.
So whenever you're ready for that, we'll be ready for you.
Unfortunately, I haven't found it. The oldest photo I've found is from the 80s, and it's a black and white photo, and the building's all boarded up, so it's not even that useful, frankly.
So it's still something. It shows what was there.
Right.
So,
Right. So, great. Thank you all for your time today.
no, thank you for your thoughtful approach.
I'm so excited.
All right, do I have a motion to adjourn the meeting? Kim and Paul, great, thank you.
Okay, meeting adjourned. 11:00.